Good evening and welcome to the Monday, December 12th, 2022, 6 p.m. regular meeting of the Bell Garden Successor Agency to the Community Development Commission. The meeting will now come to order at 6:08 p.m. Pursuant to Bill 361, please be advised that the members of the Bell Garden Successor Agency may participate in today's meeting telephonically. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting live online through the city's website as noted on the agenda. If any agency member should have a conflict of interest, please announce any item you're recusing for due to conflict of interest prior to the item being heard. Tonight's invocation will be given by Pastor Leal, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by the Girl Scouts Troop 2543.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, our councilmen and councilwomen, our chief, our police officers, all the staff, our manager, and all the citizens of Bell Gardens. It's an honor to be here. I know it's probably the last or one of the last meetings of this year, and it's been great being here with all of you. Just want to all of you let you know that our church continues to pray for all of our leaders. We honor you. We are grateful for the work that you do, and just we'd like to extend our gratitude to all of you. So the next thing I wanted to say, I want to congratulate the new and the ones that were reelected. It's going to be great working with all of you. We'll continue to pray for you, and let us bow our heads and remember, as we pray, we enter into the presence of God. Father, we want to thank you this evening for all this year, for our leaders, for our police officers, for our chief, for all the staff that makes this city work. Father, as we end the year, we want to just extend our gratitude to you, Jesus, for being so wonderful to each one of us. We give you this meeting. We ask that your grace be upon this meeting. May you guide each word and each action, and that everything that is done will be for the glory of your name and for the well-being of our citizens. May you continue to bless them and bless our great nation. We ask this in the name of Jesus. And can we say amen? Thank you.
Please stand. Face the flag.
Face the flag.
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
Agency Secretary, will you please call the roll of the Successor Agency?
Yes, thank you. Chair, Agency Member Barcena?
Present.
Agency Member Cortez?
Present.
Agency Member Flores Franco? Vice Chair Chavez?
Present.
And Chair Pulido.
Present. We will now move to the first item on the agenda. Public participation is now open. Agency Secretary, will you please announce the instructions for public participation?
Yes, thank you. The members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on items listed on the Successor Agency agenda. Please state your name for the record before addressing your comments to the chair and agency members. Each speaker and written comment is limited to 3 minutes. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone, and when instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining us through Zoom app may request to make a comment by using the raise hand feature on Zoom. We did not receive any written communication, and we do not have anyone raising their hand.
If there is an objection by the agency members, I will close public participation. We will now move to the consent calendar. Does any member of the agency wish to pull an item for separate discussion? If there are no questions, I will now call for a motion to approve items in the consent calendar. May I have a motion?
I'll move.
May I have a second?
Second Cortez.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barsina and a second by Councilwoman Cortez. Agency Secretary, will you please conduct a roll call vote?
Yes, Chair. Agency Member Barsina,
Yes.
Agency Member Cortez,
Yes.
Agency Member Flores Franco, still absent. Vice Chair Chavez
Yes.
and Chair Pulido.
Yes. We will now move to public participation on non-agenda items. Public participation is now open. Agency Secretary, will you please announce the instructions?
The members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on items not listed on the successor agency agenda. Please state your name for the record before addressing your comments to the chair and agency members. Each speaker and written comment are limited to 3 minutes. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone. When instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining us through Zoom app may request to make a comment by using the raise hand feature on Zoom and select the unmute or the microphone icon when instructed. We did not receive any written comments. No in-person public comment cards were submitted, and we still have no one raising their hand.
If there is no objection by the City Council, I will close public participation. Does any member wish to make a comment? If there is no objection by the successor agency, I will adjourn the successor agency meeting at 6:15 PM and call to order the City Council meeting. Good evening and welcome to the Monday, December 12, 2022 regular meeting of the Bell Garden City Council. The meeting will not come to order at 6:15 PM. Pursuant to Assembly Bill 361, please be advised that the members of the Bell Garden City Council may participate in today's meeting telephonically. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting live online through the city's website as noted on the agenda. City Council members, please announce any item you are recusing from due to conflict of interest prior to the item being heard. City Clerk, can you please conduct a roll call vote?
Yes, Mayor. Council members Barsena,
Yes.
Councilmember Cortez,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Chavez,
Present.
Mayor Pulido,
Present.
and Councilwoman Flores Franco. She's still absent.
I would like to request that council change the order of business as listed on the agenda by way of motion and second to move the presentations prior to discussion items and move public comments of non-agenda items immediately after public items on the agenda. May I have a motion?
So move.
May I
I'll
have a
second.
second? We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem. Chavez, I forgot his last name. Mayor Pro Tem Chavez and a second by Councilmember Barsina. City Clerk, will you please conduct a roll call vote?
Councilmember Barsena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cortez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Flores Franco, still absent. Mayor Pro Tem Chavez
Yes.
and Mayor Pulido.
Yes. We will now begin with the first item on the agenda. At this time, I will open the public hearing at 6:17 PM.
Thank you, Mayor Polito. This item is the consideration of a resolution to adopt the development impact fee. Back in October, the council adopted an ordinance that approved a nexus study to describe what a fee would be used for and what are the impacts current development has on the city of Bell Gardens. So what this would do if it were passed by the council, it would approve fees that would offset the costs of upgrading and expanding public facilities and services that are necessitated by the construction of new developments and the impact that those developments have on the existing city. With that, I'll turn it over to our Community Development Director, Gus Romo, for a presentation. Thank you, Mayor.
Members of the council. Does this move forward? Okay, there we go. Okay, just to give you a little bit of background, I'll be brief about it. Back in October of 2019, the City Council, after a presentation from staff, gave direction to pursue development impact fees in terms of pursuing a study which the city has to do in order to consider. There has to be a connection between the fees and the actual development impacts. So in March of 2020, staff prepared and released a request for proposals for this development impact fee study. And in February of 2021, there was a professional services agreement that was approved for the actual study to be conducted. This was with Wildan Financial Services. Then in October 2022, after the development impact fee had been created, it was presented to the city council and it was adopted along with ordinance 928, which created a new development impact fee chapter for the code. Second reading of that ordinance was on October 24th. And so tonight, what you have before you is the actual proposed development impact fees that came from that adopted study. Tonight's recommendation is to approve the resolution that adopts the new fee schedule consistent with the State Mitigation Fee Act and also with the new Bell Gardens Ordinance 928, which again is the development impact fee chapter that is now in your code. Looking at the major planned facilities that were identified by the consultant, we're looking at mitigation impact fees for transportation system, for things such as intersection improvements and the Florence Corridor Complete Streets project. Parks and recreation fees as well, to be able to bring in fees to create and maintain parks between 9.1 and 16.9 acres of new parks to maintain existing facility standards. Also, law enforcement facility impact fees for new vehicles, IT equipment, radio system update, and network programs were examples that were identified. General government facilities impact fee to update the master facilities plan, and also to be able to update our general plan. So we have a share of general plan updates, such as our housing element, land use element, et cetera. I think our presentation went out. We can have it back on. Well, the next slide, folks, was going to show, or it will be showing the actual impact fees that were identified, the non-commercial and also, I should say, the non-residential and also the residential fees. And these fees are based on a per unit, but also in some cases for the non-residential on a square footage basis. So that concludes our presentation. We do have our consultant on the line if there are any questions. But again, tonight's presentation is based on the adopted fee study that you approved back in October. So now we're just implementing the actual fees into the fee schedule so that we can start charging them for new development. And keep in mind, this is specifically for new development. The monies for each impact fee will be put into an account that can only be used for that specific mitigation. So anything having to do with transportation will be in a transportation account. Anything for police will be in a police account. Those monies cannot be used for any other purposes. So they're not general fund revenue, for as an example. The other thing I wanted to point out, we also looked at public art. So art in public spaces. But what was identified to us by the consultant is that that is not truly a development impact. So when a development comes in, the best way to look at a park or a public art fee is to create a separate ordinance that identifies an in lieu fee for public art, or the ability to actually have the developer create that public art as part of the project. So they might come in and say, we want to propose it as a sculpture within this particular area, or maybe a decorative wall monument. So again, we'll be coming back separately from development impact fees for art in public spaces. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
We will now move to council member questions or comments. Does any member of the council have any questions or comments?
Yes, Madam Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank staff for bringing this report to us. I think everything's looking great. I did have a question in regards to the art component of it that we had several discussions. I totally understand that we're keeping it separate and it's best practice. Do you guys have an idea of when you plan on bringing the art component in the future, more or less?
Yes, sir. We're actually looking at the first quarter of the year. So we're actually working on one now. Once we get a draft ready, we're going to go ahead and prepare a schedule. I'm anticipating March of 2023.
Okay, thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you. We will now move open public comments for this item. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation.
Thank you. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on public hearing item number 1. Please state your name for the record before addressing your comments to the mayor and council members. Each speaker and written comments are limited to 3 minutes. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone, and when instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining us through Zoom app may request to make a comment by using the raise hand feature on Zoom and select the unmute or the microphone icon when instructed. We will begin from hearing members of the public that are physically present in the council chamber. Please submit all comment cards now if you haven't done so already. Callers whose phone number, well, it doesn't look like we have anyone on Zoom or by phone call who wants to provide a comment. No one has their hand raised. And we received 0 written comments, and we didn't receive any public comment cards.
If there is no objection by the city council, I will close public participation. I will now close the public hearing at 6:26 p.m. May I have a motion to approve resolution number 2022-121 adopting the development impact fees?
Barcena, move.
May I have a second?
Second by Cortez.
We have a motion by Councilman Barcena and a second by Councilwoman Cortez. City Clerk, will you please conduct a roll call vote?
Yes, council members Barcena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cortez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Flores Franco, still absent. Mayor Pro Tem Chavez,
Yes.
and Mayor Pulido.
Yes. We will now move to item number 2 on the agenda. At this time, I will open the public hearing at 6:26 p.m. City Manager, will you please introduce this item?
Thanks again, Mayor Polito. This item is requesting the adoption of a concealed carry weapon licensing fee with the city of Bell Gardens. So basically, due to a recent Supreme Court decision, the City of Bell Gardens Police Department is responsible for developing and maintaining a concealed carry weapons license program for the residents of Bell Gardens. There's obviously costs associated with processing such licenses, somewhat rigorous process. What staff is recommending here is that the council adopt appropriate fees to cover the costs or the majority of the costs of the application process. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief Fairfield for a presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. And I'd like to have Lieutenant Ruben Muskis, who will provide the information to council today and to the community. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. As the chief said, my name is Ruben Muskis, Lieutenant with the Bell Gardens Police Department. Tonight, my proposal is for the adoption of the carry concealed weapons fees processing that's mandated by the state now. As of June 23rd of 2022, the United States Supreme Court ruling in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin regarding the issuance of carrying concealed weapon permits, thus removing the proper cause requirement for obtaining an unrestricted license to carry a concealed firearm. The court found that the proper cause requirement violates the 14th Amendment in that it prevents law-abiding citizens with ordinary self-defense needs from exercising their Second Amendment right to bear arms. Prior to this decision, the Sheriff of Los Angeles County issued all CCW permits for the city of Bell Gardens and most cities in LA County. Due to the increase in applications, the sheriff will no longer issue CCWs for independent cities, thus placing the burden on the chief of police. Who is eligible for a CCW permit? Per California Penal Code 26150 and subject to department policy and procedures, any Los Angeles County resident may be issued a CCW by the chief of police of the city they reside in, as long as they can show proof of the following. The applicant has good moral character, be at least 21 years of age. The applicant is a resident of the county or a city within the county, and the applicant has completed an approved course of firearms training. The discretion for the chief of police. Law enforcement agencies, police chiefs reserve almost exclusive authority to issue or deny California CCW licenses. Individuals that are potentially restricted from obtaining a CCW permit are include but not limited to: the police chief may deny a person the right to a license to carry a firearm if there is reason to believe that the character and reputation of the person is such that they would act in a manner to endanger public safety. People who have been convicted of a felony or certain types of misdemeanors under Penal Code Section 29800, felon with a firearm. People who are addicted to narcotics. People who lose their gun rights due to domestic violence convictions, and people who have been diagnosed as mentally ill. Our proposal is for the listed fees on here. Our proposal is to contract with an outside agency, outside vendor. Using this outside vendor, they will collect the fees, they will process the applications, they will conduct the background investigations, and then turn it over to the police department for final approval. Going with this outside vendor will incur no costs to the city of Bell Gardens, and the city of Bell Gardens will not profit from any of these fees. That's far as my presentation is. Have any questions?
Mayor, may I?
Yes.
And I think maybe this would be more for our finance department. I did receive some questions with regards to the fees.
Recibí unas preguntas respecto a las cuotas.
I'm sorry, we're hearing the Spanish interpreter. We're good? Yeah, okay. Just with regards to the fees, Mike, that initial top fee, I believe there's other cities, and maybe you could give us some background, or if there's any way for the city to lower that initial fee. And Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, our Lieutenant Muskiz, there is a very stringent process already to begin with, right? To ensure that only the adequate candidates who apply for this permit receive it, correct?
That's correct.
So without waiving away any of those provisions, just on the monetary aspect, if there's a way to lower that fee.
I think the fee, the cost is probably higher than what that fee is currently. So I think unless the chief corrects me here, I think that it would be the discretion of the council to reduce that fee or to waive that fee from what staff's recommendation is. I'll let chief add some flavor to that though.
So the processing fee will go directly to the company that's doing all the processing of the paperwork. The fees that are in here are exactly what's recommended by the state, and we're only allowed to charge a certain amount, and this is the amount we're allowed to charge for each of these categories. So technically we could lower it, but it would come at a cost to the city. We'd then have to reimburse the company doing the processing.
Okay, you answered my question with it would be at a cost to the city. Thank you.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
City manager, just wanted to ask, or chief, or anyone that may be familiar with the fees that were charged beforehand. So how do those compare? What is the fee difference? Is it exactly the same that we're going to be charging?
To be honest, we're unaware because we haven't, in my 4.5 years here, and it's probably as long as I've been at the police department, we've never processed CCWs. They've always gone through the sheriff's department, and we didn't have any control over those fees, and nor do I know what those fees were.
We will now open public comments for this item. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on public hearing item number 2. Please state your name for the record before addressing your comments to the mayor and council members. Each speaker and written comments are limited to 3 minutes. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone, and when instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining us through Zoom app may request to make a comment by using the raise hand feature on Zoom and select the unmute or the microphone icon when instructed. We will begin to hear from members of the public that are physically present in the council chamber. We did receive one public comment card. Bruce Crow, if you would please come to the podium.
Good evening, council, residents of Bell Gardens. My name is Bruce Crow. I am a native son of Bell Gardens. Back when it was called BG, Billy Goat Acres. That was a long time ago. It was good times back then. However, obviously, the police department does not handle CCW permits. They haven't, as the gentleman said, and they shouldn't be handling it now. This is an issue because the city and state of New York tried to deny American citizens their Second Amendment right to own a firearm for their own protection. They tried to deny it at every single turn, but it went to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court ruled that it was indeed a violation of your Second Amendment right and your 14th Amendment right to your protection, basically. That's what it was, the right to defend yourself. So there shouldn't be any fees. There shouldn't be any permits being issued by the city of Bell Gardens or Downey. I'm from Downey now. I live in Downey. We had the county doing it. The state shouldn't even be doing it. It is a federal issue. Nobody should know, if you are a law-abiding citizen, whether you own a firearm for your protection or not. We have background checks. But clearly, this is a city council that will be just like New York, will try to deny you every single opportunity for you to defend yourself, when the people on this council and as New York will continue in the name of criminal justice reform, keep releasing criminals out onto the street, just like George Gascon is doing in LA County. Keep that in mind. It is your Second and 14th Amendment right. Equal protection is what that's called in 14th. Second Amendment is your right to own a firearm for your protection. And nobody should be, you do a background check to get that permit. Nobody here should be mandating anything on you. However, you're going to see something different tonight. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. And that is all the public comments that we received, and I don't have anyone virtually raising their hand.
If there is no objection by the city council, I will close public participation. I will now close our public hearing at 6:37 p.m. May I have a motion to approve resolution number 2022-122, adopting the concealed carry weapon licensing fees?
So moves Cortez.
I'll go ahead and second. Barcena.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Cortez and a second by Councilmember Barcena. City Clerk, will you please conduct a roll call vote?
Council members Barcena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cortez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Flores Franco, still absent. Mayor Pro Tem Chavez
Yes.
and Mayor Pulido.
Yes. We will now move to item number 3 on the agenda. At this time, I will open the public hearing at 6:38 p.m. City Manager, will you please introduce this item?
Thanks again, Mayor Pulido. This item is the consideration for the 49th program year, which is fiscal year 23-24, for the Community Development Block Grant funding received by the City of Bell Gardens. The recommendation that staff has presented here is to allocate this funding, to receive the funding and to allocate it towards the Aquatic Center program. This recommendation has been the plan for approximately the last 24 to 36 months to utilize our CDBG funding for this purpose to help fill the gaps in our funding of the new aquatic center that's coming. With that, I will turn it over to Gus Romo, our Community Development Director, again, to provide additional detail. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, Mayor, members of the City Council. As our City Manager has summed up, this is the 2023-2024 CDBG funds allocation for that fiscal year in particular. It is the 49th program year. And again, every year, sometimes every 2 years, we come back and adopt the new allocation. The federal requirements require that a public notice is published, and it's done twice during the 10-day period. At times, we take these monies that are allocated to us and we spread them through different projects. Because of the importance of the aquatic center, the city is considering the $605,116 to go completely towards the aquatic center this time around, as we've done in past years. So staff is recommending that the City Council once again approve the attached resolution for the allocation of the 23-24 CDBG funds and the proposed projects to implement during that program year, which again is for the aquatic center. And for planning purposes, the city's CDBG estimated annual allocation for the upcoming year will be approximately $605,116. That concludes my report. If you have any questions.
We will now move to council member questions and comments. Does any member have any questions or comments? We will now move or open public comments for this item. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation.
Thank you, Mayor. The members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on the public hearing item number 3. Please state your name for the record before addressing your comments to the mayor and council members. Each speaker and written comments are limited to 3 minutes. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone, and when instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining us through the Zoom app may request to make a comment by using the raise hand feature on Zoom and select the unmute or the microphone icon when instructed. We did not receive any written public comments or any public comment cards submitted, and we do not have anyone raising their hand virtually.
If there is no objection by the City Council, I will close public participation. And we'll close the public hearing. Close the public hearing at 6:42 p.m. I have a motion to approve resolution number 2022-123, adopting the allocation of 2023-2024 CDBG funds and the proposed project for implementation during the 2023-2024 program year.
So moved.
No. Oh, you said so moved? Oh, okay. I heard you said no.
Was that a motion by Councilmember?
Yes.
Okay, I will go ahead and second that motion. Barcena?
We have a motion and a second. City Clerk, will you please conduct a roll call vote?
Yes, Mayor. Thank you. Council members Barcena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cortez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Flores Franco, still absent, and Mayor Pro Tem Chavez,
Yes.
and Mayor Pulido.
Yes. We will now move to the next item on the agenda. Public participation is now open for items listed on the agenda. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation.
Thank you, Mayor. The members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on items listed on the agenda. Please state your name for the record, and each speaker and written comments are limited to 3 minutes. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone, and when instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining through Zoom app may request to make a comment by using the raise hand feature on Zoom and select the unmute or the microphone icon when instructed. We did not receive any public comment cards, any written comments, and we do not have anyone virtually raising their hand.
If there is no objection by City Council, I will close public participation. Public participation is now open for items not listed on the agenda. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation.
Thank you, Mayor. The members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on items not listed on the agenda under the subject matter of the City Council. Please state your name for the record. Each speaker and written comments are limited to 3 minutes. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone. When instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining through Zoom may request to make a comment by using the raise hand feature on Zoom and select the unmute or the microphone icon when instructed. We will begin to hear from the members of the public that are physically present in the council chamber. If you have not done so, please submit all comment cards now. We did receive one in-person public comment card. Bruce Crow, if you can please come to the podium.
Good evening, I'm back. As I said before, I am raised in Bell Gardens, native son, but I live in Downey now. However, we are connected still through our property tax information and through the Central Basin Municipal Water District. The City Council needs to start informing the residents, especially the taxpayers, as to the effects of certain charges on your property tax bills. And it looks something like this. If you are a homeowner, you get a bill and a statement like this every year. Every year you get one of these. And you'll see certain charges on there. And some people, the Central Basin tries to put charges on there that they shouldn't be charging. However, the City Council has a fiduciary responsibility to inform you what these people are doing because it is your business. They are an outside agency that they purchase water from. Now, many city councils, especially in Downey, will try to tell you that it's not any of your business. However, there is a $10 standby charge now. We used to have a $2 illegally fixed rate charge, but they went to court and lost that and had to return the money to the 5 big purveyors. Now we have a $10 standby charge. Where did that come from? Well, every city council should require audits from the Central Basin Municipal Water District. And the information should be revealed to every resident because you, if you are a homeowner or a property owner, you are the ratepayer. So it is your business. And you represent the people, not the other way around. The people don't work for you, you work for them. And you work for us. And you need to be responsible and start getting to the bottom of some of these charges that are being charged to the ratepayers. Because it is your business. Every time you turn on your tap, it's your business. Every time you wash your dishes, it's your business. Every time you take a shower, it's your business. You're bringing water in at a reasonable price, and we don't want to be ripped off by any of these agencies and the corruption that goes on in these agencies. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was the last in-person speaker. We do not have anyone virtually raising their hand, and we did not receive any written comments.
If there is no objection by the City Council, I will close public participation. City Manager, will you please give your report?
Thank you, Mayor Polito. First off, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody in attendance. As many of you know, and I know as the council knows, we reopened the council chambers about 2 months ago to public participation, and there's definitely a different vibe in the room. I think it's a positive vibe. It's nice to see people here listening, being engaged. I know some of you are here, your friends or family of council members or soon to be council member. So welcome to those of you that are guests. Just in the interest of time, I'd just like to say and invite everybody on this Saturday is our holiday parade and winter wonderland event at Veterans Park. It'll start at 2 p.m. We'll have all kinds of events for children. And if you have Bell Gardens resident children that are 17 or below, you can register them for a free gift for the toy giveaway. Also, there'll be snow and Santa Claus and things of that nature. And the weather will be cold, so it'll feel like a winter environment. Also like to mention there is a business in town right up the street, Dell Records, that's also doing a toy giveaway on Sunday at 10 a.m. That's for Bell Gardens residents or residents just of the region here. So if you have any family members or friends that maybe don't live in Bell Gardens that are interested in a free toy, Dell Records will be having a drive-up toy giveaway on Sunday right up the street here at Gage, Foster Bridge, and Garfield. With that, I'll say thank you and turn it back over to the mayor.
Madam Mayor, I have a question for Mike. And maybe he can get help from the Director of Recreation. How are we doing with that toy distribution? Are we still good to refer people to sign up, or are we running out of room?
Good evening, Councilmember Barsana. Yes, we are still good and are asking for people to please sign up. We still have toys that we can give away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. We will now move to consent calendar. Does any member of the city council wish to pull an item for separate discussion? May I have a motion to approve items number 4 through to 13 on the consent calendar?
Move Barsana.
May I have a second?
Second Cortez.
City clerk, will you please conduct a roll call vote?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Barsana,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cortez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Flores Franco, still absent, Mayor Pro Tem Chavez,
Yes.
and Mayor Pulido.
Yes. At this time, we will resume for a brief recess and reconvene at 7:05.
Yes, please, Mayor.
Thank you. So how do you go to Mexico and not realize you're not gonna make it right back?
That's not gonna come. She said she's in Mexico at 6 a.m.
Oh. 6 a.m.? Since 6 a.m.?
That's what she said.
So was she planning on driving back?
Meeting's now being recorded.
The meeting will now come to order at 7:16 PM. We will now move to presentations. City Manager, will you please introduce our presentations?
Thanks again, Mayor Polito. I'd like to welcome and recognize, as I mentioned earlier, we have friends and family of current council members, future council members, interested residents. Also at this time, though, would like to welcome and specifically recognize local dignitaries that we have here with us. If you could raise your hand and wave, and then I'll call you up here if you'd like in a minute here. We have Chad Oberly, representative from Assemblywoman Pacheco's office. Chad, up here in the front corner. We have Matthew Johnson, our representative for Supervisor Janice Hahn's office. We have Vanessa Bautista, representative for Senator Lena Gonzalez. We also have Councilmember Ivan Altamirano from the City of Commerce. And last but not least, we have Mayor Oscar Flores from the City of Linwood. He's outside. At this time, I'd like to call up any representatives or elected officials that would like to present a certificate. We have some in person that we've already received, but if you'd like to come up to the podium and say a few words, now would be a good time. I see Vanessa coming up to the podium. Vanessa Bautista from Senator Lena Gonzalez's office.
Representative for Senator Lena Gonzalez. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here. However, on her behalf, I would like to present the certificate of recognition to the outgoing Mayor Maria Pulido in honor of your exemplary leadership as mayor of the city of Bell Gardens from December 13th, 2021 to December 12th, 2022. I commend your commitment to improving the quality of life of Bell Gardens residents. I look forward to our continued work together on behalf of the 33rd Senate District. Congratulations on your successful term as mayor.
Thank you, Vanessa. At this time, I'd like to call up Chad. Would you like to come to the podium, please? Mr. Chad Oberly, representative from Assemblywoman Blanca Pacheco's office.
Good evening. Mayor Polito, we just want to, on behalf of Assemblywoman Pacheco, we want to thank you for all your work on the city council and as mayor in the last year, and just celebrate and recognize your accomplishments. And thank you for all your advocacy for the constituents in Southeast LA. And we look forward to working with you, and congratulations, and thank you again.
At this time, I'd like to invite Matthew Johnson, representative from Supervisor Hahn's office, to come to the podium, please.
Thank you. Good evening. Mayor Polito, I want to congratulate you on your term as mayor. We have got to know each other a little bit. Conferences, contract cities conferences. I know it's not easy being a mayor ever, but when you have a pandemic tied to it and reopening your city coming out of a pandemic, certainly is juggling that with a full-time job, I'm sure is not an easy task. So on behalf of Supervisor Hahn, your staff has a token of our appreciation, a certificate for you, and wish you all the best, and thank you for your service.
Thank you. City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 14?
Thanks again, Mayor Polito. This item is the adoption of a resolution that recites the fact of the city's general municipal election that occurred a little over a month ago, to declare the results of the election and also to ratify the voter approved ordinance regarding term limits. I'll turn it over to our city clerk if she'd like to add a few words to this item. Daisy, if you don't mind.
Thank you, City Manager. As the city manager stated, we did receive the results on last minute, actually December 8th. And as soon as we did, we went ahead and spread the information to all the council members and the candidates. And as you can see in the order of how the results came through, the council member elects that was selected was Cortez, Alejandra Cortez, Marco Barcena, and and Francis De Leon Sanchez. And congratulations to you three.
Does any member of the city council have any questions or comments? May I have a motion to adopt resolution number 2022-132 and voter approved ordinance number 916?
Cortez, so motions.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Cortez and a second by Councilmember Barcena. City Clerk, will you please conduct a roll call vote?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Council members Barcena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cortez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Chavez,
Yes.
and Mayor Pulido.
Yes.
City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 15?
Thanks again, Mayor Polito. This next item is to recognize Mayor Polito, Mayor Pro Tem Chavez, and Councilmember Liseth Franco Flores for their service over the last year for the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem, and over the last 4 years for Councilwoman Franco Flores. I'd just like to make a note for the audience. Councilmember Franco Flores is not able to attend due to a family emergency that seems to have just occurred today. So we obviously would normally recognize her and have plaques for her. So we'll do that at another time behind the scenes. I think now would be appropriate for the council to recognize the mayor for her year of service as the mayor. And we have a gift and some flowers to be presented to the mayor from the Mayor Pro Tem, Jorge Chavez.
Congratulations. I'll go ahead. So.
We can just. Okay. Thank you. City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 16?
Yes, thanks again, Mayor Polito. This item is the city council swearing in ceremony where the newly elected city council members will take their oath of office. I'll turn it over to our city clerk, Daisy Gomez.
Thank you, city managers. At this time, if I can ask for Councilmember-elect Barcena to please bring forward your family, friends, or whoever you would like to stand with you and have your oath of office administered. Yes, it's over here in the dais.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Marco Antonio Barcena,
I, Marco Antonio Barcena,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will
and that I will
well and faithfully
well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you. Now, at this time, I'd like to ask for Councilmember-elect Cortez to please bring any family or friends you wish to come up and stand with you as your oath of administration is being issued.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Alejandra Cortez,
Alejandra Cortez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
and that I will and faithfully
I will and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
At this time, if I can ask for Councilmember-elect Sanchez to please come up and bring forward any family or friends you wish to stand with you as your oath of administration is taken.
I state your name.
I, Francis De Leon Sanchez,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will
and that I will
well and faithfully
well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna miss you. Oh, yeah, because that's right. You don't know. Oh my, what's this? Oh, no, you gave me this. Okay. City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 17?
Thanks again, Mayor Polito. This next item is required by the city's municipal code. By ordinance, it's the reorganization and selection of the mayor of the city and chairperson of the successor agency, and also selection of a mayor pro tem of the city and vice chairperson for the successor agency. Staff's recommendation at this time that the city council by motion organize and select a mayor chairperson and a mayor pro tem vice chairperson. Thank you, Mayor Polito.
I will now open the floor for nominations for the position of mayor or chair.
I make a nomination to vote for Alejandra Cortez for mayor.
I would like to second that motion.
Any other nominations? I will now close the nominations and conduct a roll call vote. Councilmember Barcena,
Yes.
Councilmember Chavez,
Yes.
Councilmember Cortez,
Yes.
Councilmember Pulido,
Yes.
and Councilmember Sanchez.
Yes.
Congratulations. We'll now open the floor for nominations for the position of the Mayor Pro Tem Vice Chair.
I would like to nominate Councilwoman Sanchez as Mayor Pro Tem.
I will go ahead and second that. Bárcena.
Any other nominations? I will now close the nominations and conduct a roll call vote. Council members Bárcena,
Yes.
Councilmember Chavez,
Yes.
Councilmember Mayor Cortez,
Yes.
Councilmember Pulido,
Yes.
and Councilmember Sanchez.
Yes.
Congratulations.
City manager, at this point, are we moving on to the recognitions of the outgoing mayor and mayor pro tem? I know you didn't do your speech. You don't have a speech? Okay, so we'll move on to item number 18.
Yes, Mayor. Item number 18, we've got one more agenda item here, and then we will have council member comments, and then adjournment, and then we will have a reception in the courtyard with food, desserts, and mariachi. If you'd all please join us for that. Before we get to that, though, a couple last pieces of business. This item, the city is required to appoint a commissioner to the Greater Los Angeles Vector Control District. It should be a council member or a resident. Current resident, former council member Pedro Acetuno is the current commissioner, and the recommendation would be to make an appointment for Mr. Acetuno for a 2-year term or a 4-year term, or to select another candidate for this. With that, I'll turn it over back to the council members. Thank you, Mayor Cortez.
Thank you. At this point, I'll go ahead and take, is there any questions or comments from the council or any motions?
I would like to motion to appoint Pedro Aceituno to the Vector Control District for a 2-year term.
Okay, I'll go ahead and second that motion. City Clerk, will you please conduct a roll call vote?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Bárcena,
Yes.
Councilmember Chavez,
Yes.
Councilmember Pulido,
Yes.
Councilmember Sanchez,
Yes.
and Mayor Cortez.
Yes. Okay, that motion carries. We're going to go ahead and move on now to city council member comments, starting with council member Bárcena.
First of all, I want to say congratulations to Frances. She's the new kid on the block. And, we're going to make sure that we take care of her, that we give her all the help that she may need in order to be a successful council member. So congratulations, Frances. I also want to say congratulations to our new mayor. Being a mayor is an extreme honor because it's a lot of responsibility. You are basically carrying the image of the city. Everyone thinks of you as the highest power in the city. So it is a real privilege, a real honor, and a real responsibility. So congratulations. I think that the city of Bell Gardens spoke clearly when they decided who they will be voting for. As we all know, Alejandra got the most votes. Another thing that I want to say is I want to thank the entire council for making this ceremony so harmonious. You guys see us up here voting and making decisions, and it looks very smooth, but I assure you that under the hood, it's a very, very difficult job. So I want to commend the entire council for doing their job in a way that represents the city as they should. And I'm very proud of everyone here. Thank you to my family. Thank you to the families of my slate that I ran with. You guys made this happen. We're up here because of you. So we owe you this victory. You guys did the work. Alejandra's family, one of the hardest working families I've seen on working on a campaign. Extremely impressive, very proud of them. Not to mention Frances' dedication. She was coughing, sick, and still going out there, knocking on every door. So I commend my team for doing an amazing job. It's a victory well deserved. And I'm proud of having joined this team, and we're gonna do the best that we can. That's what it's all about. So thank you again, my family. Thank you to the families of all the candidates, and thank you to the council.
Councilmember Chavez, sorry.
Thank you for that. Thank you everyone for attending this meeting. It's obviously the final meeting of the year. Want to end up on a happy note. Congratulations, Francis. Welcome to the team, Team Bell Gardens. It's a pleasure being with you on this dais. Congratulations to Mayor Cortez. 3 years. This will be the third year. Congratulations. That's very impressive. Congratulations to former Mayor Maria Pulido for the time. And then it was an honor to serve alongside her and be the Mayor Pro Tem for this year. Moving forward, I look forward to what's in store for Bell Gardens. I have faith that we're going to be in good hands, and I look forward to seeing the future. With that said, I want to make sure everyone stays safe. I know we're all wearing masks again. We'll see how this goes. Stay safe. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and have a happy new year. Thank you.
Outgoing Mayor Pulido.
Simply thank you so much for the honor of serving as mayor last year. I look forward to working with you for the next 2 years, maybe. And congratulations, you did a fantastic job of sharing your message with the community in a very, very honorable way. And the city knew what they wanted, and they wanted a clear change of someone who's very graceful. So thank you so much. And we are planning some posadas, right, coming up. So keep tuning in for that. And congratulations for you too as well, but especially for you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ahora sí, Mayor Pro Tem Francis de Leon Sanchez. Take as long as you want. No.
I'll try to make it short, sweet, and concise. First and foremost, I do want to thank the residents of Bell Gardens for believing in me and, electing me to be in this position. I take it with a lot of honor and humility to be here. My parents, thank you so much during the campaign. My family, my friends, I would not be here today without you guys. I look forward to working with each and every one of you to represent Bell Gardens and to be a voice for our residents here in the city. So once again, thank you very much, and hope to see everybody this weekend at the Winter Wonderland. Is that what we're calling it? Yes, the Winter Wonderland on Saturday. Thank you.
As far as my comments, I do want to thank my running mates and congratulate them in this new journey. For Francis, Mark already knows what this is about, but we're a great team up here on the dais, and I think we're going to do great work for the city of Bell Gardens and continue the progress that we began 4 years ago. I'm immensely grateful to all of you for being here today, supporting one of us, supporting the entire city council, my family, my little brother who swore me in. Gracias. He fought my campaign battles for me, and I am completely indebted to him. You mean the world to me, little brother. My nieces, my beautiful babies that are here, my sister-in-law that's going through a tough time. Thank you, Jenny, for being here today as well. And just Mayor Pulido, thank you for your leadership for the past year, for working with us, for allowing us to also, make great things happen for the city of Bell Gardens. You didn't have an outgoing speech, but I do want to show my gratitude and appreciation for your leadership in the past year. And you'll be here after 2 years, so don't say that only for 2 years. So we're grateful to have you here, Mayor Pro Tem, as well. Thank you so much for serving in that capacity, in that position. But with that, let's conclude our city council. If there's no objection by the city council, I will now adjourn the city council meeting at 7:46. And we do have a reception outside, so please do join us. Thank you so much.